and welcome to Cinebalance Live. Today we're going to spice it up and we're going to talk about tarot readings. I have a very special guest, Kay Downie. You travelled up here today. It's really lovely to have you in the studio.
It's great to be here. It was a nice journey, actually.
Yeah, it's lovely to be in the studio with Kay. Kay and I've done a few things online, but we also done a really lovely celebration when we had a makeover and photo shoot, which was very special. But today it's going to be all about tarot readings and what you need to know, because I was actually quite skeptical about tarot readings.
I think most people are.
And I think if you're listening in, you might have been too. And I'm going to tell you actually why I was skeptical, because my nan was told that one of her children might die when they were young, and they never did. And obviously we're talking donkeys years ago, and that's not something, you can't predict the future, can you? And this is something I know that you're really strong about. So let's start there. And in fact, when you came into the office and you said that you do tarot readings, they said, do you predict the future?
And my answer was no.
Exactly. So what is tarot readings all about?
Tarot readings is about getting you to think. They're just a tool, really. Piece of paper with a picture on. I read tarot and I also read soul cards as well. People ask me what's the difference, and I think they're just pieces of paper with pictures on. The only difference is tarot you can get a book with, soul cards you can't. So tarot we're focusing on, and no, I don't believe you can predict. As you said, you were skeptical, these things happen and then it doesn't materialize. And I think that the main thing I was taught when I was learning to read the tarot was be kind. Be kind. Your job is not to frighten people. Your job is not to upset people. Your job is to tell people what they need to hear in a very uplifting manner.
To support, really, isn't it?
It's a support mechanism, yes. And it works. I was told many years ago, before I started reading the tarot, that I was going to move overseas. And at that time, we were actually thinking of moving to New Zealand, and we never did. So I was a bit, it doesn't happen. But then I did move overseas, because I moved over from England to Wales.
Yeah.
So I did move overseas, so it would fit. But that's not what they're about. They're about here and now. And what tarot card readers do is tell you your past. They read the cards for your past purely so that you know that they know what they're talking about.
So how did you get into it? How did it start?
A friend of mine wanted to learn to read the tarot. I'd already been to a workshop, and believe it or not, I threw my tarot cards in the bin. But this lady wanted to learn to read the tarot, and she wouldn't go to the tarot card workshop that I had found unless I went with her. So I was frog marched to a tarot card workshop, and I liked it. It was very different to what it had been that first time when I threw them away, purely because I was in the right position to do it at that time. And I went on to a group on Facebook and said that I was happy to read for people as a novice. And I had about 400 replies.
Oh, wow.
And I will hasten to add, they each did get a reading, but not all at once.
That's a lot.
And I came out of the group because the group didn't like that I'd had such a big response to the request. So I then started doing things on my own. First of all, just reading for friends. And then I got a bit braver and I started going to well-being events and reading them there.
Did you always know that you had that spiritual sort of ness in you?
The spiritualness, yes. I suppose when I think back, was always there, because I could see shapes in clouds or carpets or wallpaper or whatever. Reading cards, anybody can read cards. I actually hold workshops. There's 2 coming up in November. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing to worry about with the tarot. It's just a piece of paper with a picture on. The most feared card in the tarot deck is the death card. But it doesn't mean somebody's going to die.
So it's about learning. So you can do workshops to learn. And What's the process if somebody wants to learn?
There is a Facebook and LinkedIn event up at the moment for the 17th and the 25th of November. They're both the same workshop, exactly the same, but one's on a Friday, one's on a Saturday, because some people can't make one or the other. Basically, I just go through the process that I go through myself when I'm reading the cards, which is basically just in my gut.
So how can it help? So we've talked about you need to know about tarot readings. And I think first of all, it's really important that you actually know the person or feel comfortable with the person. So you don't necessarily need to personally know the person.
No.
But you just feel that comfort. Because obviously what happened to my nan was not something that she would have wanted to hear.
A similar thing happened to my grandmother. She sat in a circle and was told to go home and turn a bottle upside down on the sideboard. But she did. And that's where the scary bit came in. It filled with smoke and she smashed it and never went back to the circle.
That's just given
straight through me. So yes, it's in my genes. And I think I would have probably smashed the bottle and run away as well. But I was lucky enough to sit with people that I was drawn to. Now I'm doing an event on the 5th of August in Carmarthen. It's not my event. I'm actually there reading tarot cards. But there's about 13 or 14 other readers there. You might think, but it's not, because people will go to people.
Absolutely. And this is
it's like a magnet.
Yeah.
It's a magnet.
You've got to feel that connection. But so I look at tarot readings after what you said as a real kind of support and maybe just a bit of help, because you were talking in an earlier show that we did about thinking for yourself, that we're often very programmed. Can it help with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because first of all, with the tarot, I will tell you about your past. And you've then got to think, because we can never remember everything about our past right straight away. So if they can't accept something straight away, I always ask them to think about it. Now, whilst they're thinking about the past, they're getting away from the present. And that's what it's all about, is getting our physical mentality away from that being mentality. Because at the end of the day, Charlotte, I'm the soul mechanic purely because I believe we're a vehicle for a being. I believe that we're beings being human, not human beings at all.
I like that, which is why I love what you talk about when you talk about soul mechanic, because I think it all goes hand in hand. And with the tarot readings, I think you can get some real support if you're open to accept that sort of help. But you've got to be open to it. You've got to find the right person for you. So if people want to have a reading, how do they go about it?
They can go to my website, and there's if they scroll right down to the bottom of the homepage, there's the different services that I offer, and they can click on tarot reading or psychic readings.
And one thing to point out, because you do everything online, don't you?
I do everything online. I do nothing face to face. I used to, but then came lockdown, and I found that I was getting more customers online than face to face. And at the end of the day, I can read from John O'Groats to Sydney.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you here, and we've talked about this a lot. So if you're listening in and you want to find out more about tarot readings and how it can support you, and maybe also support you as a business owner, because I think sometimes we all need a little bit of help, don't we?
We do.
So, Kay, thank you so much for coming in, and really, really looking forward to sharing some more with you very soon. So stay tuned. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye for now.